right, welcome back, everybody, for another Wednesday watch list. This is my look ahead list for this week's new comic book day for September 27th, 2023. These are the books I'm keeping my eye on. I got on my pull list some covers, some incentives, some things that are already selling for a premium. And like I said, just things I want to watch as I look forward to, this week's Hot 10, etc. And just some cool books just to check out because, we should be reading comics as well as, collecting them. With that all said, hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. We are well on our way to 3K as we're already almost up to 2,900. So once we hit that new milestone, we will be doing another big giveaway around here. But before we get to that, let's just focus in on this week's books because there's a few interesting ones coming out this Wednesday. So hopefully, you guys are into this. And members, I should be able to get this out to you early like I used to. I'm getting my schedule now on track. And I'm getting back to the regular old time slots, I think. So with that all said, hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so let's start ourselves off here with those buzz books. These are the books I've been hearing some talk about, a little bit of buzz going into this week's new Comic Book Day Wednesday. Saw this cover months ago. I would probably early FOC, etc. I think there's even a store exclusive that's a Virgin version of this Dr. Aphra Derek Chew cover, but I like it. It's a solid cover. Derek Chew's been doing a lot of great covers lately. I'm now seeing this. I want to see some more Star Wars. I got to say, I want to see some more Star Wars. And with that, it's not all just about this cover. There are other covers for this Dr. Aphra. I think this is issue 36, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever the newest issue is this week. There's also a couple other covers here, including the 40th anniversary for Return of the Jedi. So that's an iconic image too, with Super Star Destroyer just crashing right into the Death Star. How can you forget that? And yeah, with these covers, there is also an EM Gist Clone Wars 15-year anniversary cover that is also interesting because it's, Ahsoka. Ahsoka's on everybody's mind right now. The show has been killing it lately. People are excited. We finally got Thrawn. So seeing Ahsoka here on the cover of this Dr. Aphra is kind of interesting. So keep an eye out for this regular trade dress cover as well. But also pay attention to the 1 in 100 Virgin version of this book. So this is definitely something you want to keep your eye on. A lot of these Star Wars 1 in 100s lately have gotten some crazy high prices right out of the gate. So if you got a good relationship with your shop, maybe you can get this at a decent price, but don't go overpaying. That said, we can see people have already paid quite a bit on the pre-order for this thing with all of these sales here that I have shown here are from back in August. So these are pre-sales from a few weeks ago, but still $185 and up to $225 for this 1 in 100 already. It's a lot of money for a pre-sale. And when you look at what the asking prices are, it's a little more palatable. Yes, there is a $300 ask. There is a $230 ask. But then I look and see 160 and I see 135. So that's just a little bit above ratio. That's not terrible. Granted, those are both coming out of the UK, so the shipping's a little bit higher, but I mean, this is a little bit different. I mean, we've seen a lot more of the 185 closer to 200s. This is interesting to me that there's already I don't want to say cheap, but by comparison to what we've seen the last few months with these Star Wars 1 in 100s, 135 does seem like it's kind of low right out of the gate. But let's keep an eye on it and see where this thing lands once it actually hits shelves on Wednesday. I don't like to put too much stock in the pre-sales because, one, they're pre-sales. Once these things actually hit shelves and copies hit people's hands, that's when I want to see what happens with the market. And more often than not, a lot of these ratio incentives, even these high ratio incentives especially, we just don't see them sell once Wednesday hits. Like, nobody buys it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. And like I said, this is just something worth keeping an eye on. So with that said, let's check out the other book that I got here in my buzz category. And that's something I would have put in the read pile. If I didn't have it here, I would have put Void Rivals in the read pile because I have been reading this. I am enjoying this Energon universe. I'm looking forward to Transformers coming next month and G.I. Joe after that. And yes, this isn't the most exciting read, but it is interesting. Like, I like the ties into the Transformer universe that we've seen. We've seen over the last couple of issues with the pig guy. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, the pig guy. That's a callback to the old Transformer stuff. As is the the squid head guy. I can't remember all the names, but you know what I'm talking about. These are all callbacks to all the classic stuff from like the cartoons, even the movies. So with that, I'm excited to see where they're going to go. And Void Rivals 4 was being solicited at least early on with not only just here the cover A, there was also a cover B as well as a 1 in 10 incentive on that as well. Decent covers across the board, but then there was also this spoiler cover. This is, like just a few days ago, this was still up as a spoiler cover. I didn't know what the cover was, but then just yesterday, I did find that image out there, and I'm going to share it with you. So hopefully it's not a spoiler, because I don't really see how it's a spoiler, because if you're reading the story, this is kind of obvious that this is going to happen. Not to mention it's kind of alluded to in those other covers I just showed you, but here's the spoiler cover. Okay. All right, so through the magic of editing, I had to add this little addendum in here from the show that I recorded last night because I messed something up. So I wanted to make sure I took action and corrected it as soon as possible. And that mistake was on the Void Rivals spoiler cover for the 1 in 25. I had mistakenly shown you the cover for the 1 in 50 because I didn't realize that that was for the 1 in 50. It looked like it was priced like a 1 in 25 on Midtown, and I didn't see the jump from cover C to cover E. So Midtown wasn't even listing the 1 in 25 secret cover, which is why I missed it and thought that that was the cover that had been, revealed. But that was not the case. So now, after seeing my mistake, I'm coming back to give you that reveal for that spoiler cover. So now, this is it. And I gotta admit, I'm intrigued. I like Shockwave. I think it's a pretty cool cover. Do I think this is going to have some crazy long-term collectability? Maybe. But it's definitely one that's worth watching, because as of right now, it's not going to be easy to get copies. So hopefully you got yours, secured yours in some fashion before now, because it looks like people are going to start asking an arm and a leg for this book. With that said, let's take a quick look at what pre-sold. Actually, not that bad, but all these copies seem to be gone. So all the 15 to 25, even $30 copies that I would have been in for personally, those all seem to be gone. And that was 19th of September 21st, September 21st. So all within the last few days, those cheap copies cleared up. And now all that we're left with are these, the $85, $90, $100 asks. And there's like half a dozen of them so far. More of them are coming. And as I mentioned, Midtown seemed to be holding theirs back, probably to see where this market lands. And then they'll release theirs probably in that like $70 range. You watch. But with that all said, up to you to decide what you want to do with this information. But it's definitely got some heat on it. And we'll see what happens come Wednesday when actual books hit stores and hits people's hands, what they plan to do with their copies. So I'm intrigued. As I said, only cheap copies have cleared, but all of the cheap copies have cleared. Let's see who first breaks the seal on these expensive ones. And yeah, I'm just surprised at that jump. Go all the way from $25 up to like $90. Like, where were the $50 copies? Like, we didn't see any of that. It's our crazy market these days. But like I said, I wanted to add this little addendum to fix that little mistake and show you that, yes, this cover that I thought was the 1 in 25 is actually the 1 in 50, which, as I was saying, you can get this thing pretty cheap. I think Midtown even has this only for like $30 or something like that. So if you're into something like that, you can get this under ratio. But that secret cover with Shockwave on it, that reveal spoiler cover, that's the one that seems to be getting the interest of the market. So with that said, I'll let you get back to the rest of the show. Actually, I don't have a slide for sales because you know what? This thing actually isn't selling for anything. It's basically going for ratio or less. So there's no real sales to report, pre-sales at least, on this book heading into Wednesday. There's copies listed for like $15. So don't go killing yourself on this. Again, plenty of these are being printed because I think a lot of people are reading this, because I think there are a lot of people excited for this, Skybound taking on this universe. But with that said, I said this would have been in the reading list. So let's just get to the regular old reading list and just kind of bridge that gap and say, yes, I'm going to have Monstrous here. Every issue that comes out, every issue of Saga and every issue of Monstrous is probably going to find its way into this section of the Wednesday watch list. So just mark it down. They're going to be there. So with that said, let's see what else we got in here. I got for you this week Star Wars Hyperspace Stories. I know These haven't been the best reads as of late, and I can't say that I'm excited to read these just because it's Star Wars, but I am kind of curious to see what's going on because they got Quinlan Voss here and they got Cad Bane. So I am intrigued by what may be in the guts of this for these two issues. Well, I should say this issue, just two covers, A cover and a B cover. So I wanted to show you both of them. But yes, all right. So I'm interested. I want to check this out. That said, the other thing that I'm kind of curious about, and it's not really a surprise. I mean, it's already been kind of spoiled, but I do want to see Ultimate Invasion wrap up. So this is the final issue. This is the B cover, but I liked it the best, so I spotlighted it because this is the one I'm probably going to buy. I'm going to buy this one, Kang Iron Man here cover. But there is a cover A, and there is also a 1 in 25 incentive for this book. Okay, fine. But I like that B that's in the middle. And I want to see how the story ends, even though I don't think it's a big secret that it's going to revamp the Ultimate Universe that we're going to get. It started again. Like, it all shut down with Secret Wars, but here we are. I don't know, what is that? 9 years later, a little less, 8 years later, and it's coming back. So it's coming back, as there's already announcements for a new Ultimate Spider-Man series this January. So prepare yourself for more Ultimate Universe stuff. Curious. I'm not saying I'm 100% on board just yet, but I am kind of curious. And as long as they take it slow and they don't inundate us with way too many books too soon, just throwing you every title again, just in the Ultimate Universe, I'll be interested. But if they just come right out of the gate firing, and all of a sudden, come February, we've got Ultimate Hulk, we got Ultimate X-Men, we got Ultimate Cap, we got Ultimate Avengers, we got Ultimate Spider-Man, we got Ultimate Spider-Gwen, except I'm going to be out. Just can't do it. Comics are already getting expensive enough. And with all the variant covers and the multiple covers that they're selling us on, it's only so much my wallet could take. So, with that said, we do have new number ones. We have new number ones, but are not really new. Well, one of them's kind of new, I guess. Don't want to spoil it too soon, but reboot. You want to reboot number one? Yep. Well, guess what? You're getting another Flash number one. I get it. New creative team, new era, dawn of DC, et cetera, et cetera. We got a new Wonder Woman. We got a new Superman not that long ago. Why not a new Flash? I get it. Let's just do new number ones all over the place. Let's just be like Marvel and just keep doing new number ones. I do like that they're keeping the legacy numbering alive, but can't we just have the legacy numbering? Do we really need to double dip and do both? I don't know. It's just annoying to me. That said, multiple covers here. Cover A, then we got, cover B, and then I think there's a C, and then there's a foil version. That's a Raza. That's kind of cool. And then we also got incentives on top of this. So we got a 1 in 25. We got a 1 in 50. We got a 1 in 100 here as well. Nothing really going on with any of these as of yet. They're all pretty much selling under ratio. So if you're interested, you can go and get them. Seem to be plenty of copies out there. Into it. So, but it's a new number one. But I want to check out to see how they're going to start this new era of Flash. With that said, the next character has had a series before, but it's been a while. We've had some one-shots lately. I think some minis. But Power Girl is getting a new number one here. Dawn of DC. All right. Explosive first issue. You got that walking away from the explosion angle. I guess that's cool. I doubt this is the cover that everybody's going to be gravitating towards, even though it's the cover A. Plenty other more cheesecakey type options for you, with a John Boy here in the middle is pretty good. And then we got a Sozo Micah, and then we also got a foil. Who did this one? I can't remember who did this one. Drawing a blank. But anyway, foil cover. I don't really like it personally. Just not in love with it. Like I said, I kind of like the John Boy. I'm not too into the other two. I'm just being honest. But they are more on that cheesecake angle. I could have put them later on in the show in the cheesecake segment, but put them in here with the new number ones. So if you're also looking for incentives for this book, this has them as well. As you might guess, there is a 1 in 25 showing you all the different Power Girl outfits over the years. We also got a 1 in 50 with Frank Cho, pretty cool, and a 1 in 100, which zooms in there on that foil cover, which it's a little bit better, I think, of the zoom in, but still don't love it. I don't know. That said, none of these are also moving above ratio. They're pretty close to ratio, but they're at ratio or less still. So I didn't bother sharing the pricing info as far as pre-sales go. But keep an eye on it. Who knows? We'll see what happens as the week goes on. Maybe copies start to sell. People start getting excited. People start reading it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's why it's on the watch list. like I said, not everything on this list is stuff I'm going to buy. I'm not buying all these incentives. Can't afford it. But I'm just going to keep an eye on them because, one, I need to know from when I'm coming up with the books for the Hot 10 list. But two, I'm also been curious, as you've seen over the months and years I've been doing this. I'm just curious by nature. So, with that said, let's get into one of my favorite segments of doing these, and that's the homage covers. I like them. I still like them. Yes, they overdo them, and they do the same covers over and over again. Those I'm sick of. I don't want to see any more ASM 300s. I don't want to see any more AF15s. But hit me with something interesting, you might get my attention. Starting with Donna Troy, Tales of the Titans, number 3. I thought this was going to be an easy one to find. Thought, oh yeah, the regular Tales of the Team Spotlight, whatever, it's going to be there. But no, they didn't spotlight Donna Troy on that book. So this isn't an homage to any of those covers, or those old Teen Titans covers. But I did find what it is. You want to know? Here it is. It's Wonder Girl's little insert in one of those encyclopedia thingies. Boom. There's your homage. See? Different. Interesting. So you got my attention. On top of that, we only got a couple of more Ms. Marvels. So with issue 1, I showed you the Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, the first mutant, or the new mutant, whatever they're calling it. She had a couple of homage covers on issue 1. Issue 2 has a couple of more as well, starting off with, well, as you can see, it's an X-Men one, right? Boom. Right there. Oh, where is it? Where are you at? There it is. Had to click it again. X-Men one. I mean, pretty fun homage. You just work her into the group. And that's kind of what they've been doing on these homage covers. It's fine. I mean, yeah, not too bad. And then we also have an homage to the number 1 for her second volume, or solo's second volume, I think. This cover here, not bad. But again, she's now a mutant X-Men member, etc. So they're just redoing these now with her in her X gear. I guess it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's still a lot of money to go buying all these books just for these new covers, but if you're into it, I think they're like $5 a piece. Might pick one because it's still kind of curious to try to read this, but I don't know. I don't know. Too many. You don't need to do like 2 every issue. Like that's a bit overkill. Too many covers, too many variants, too many attempts to try to dip into my wallet. That kind of stuff I don't like. Give me one. Just one per issue. Drag it out a little bit longer. Maybe you keep getting me. But you start double dipping like this, I can't keep up. That said, what's in the not great category? Now, these are generally things that either I think are just horrible, or I will admit they're just not for me. And what's been here the last few weeks is the only thing that's left. There's no weird Uncanny Valley, dead CGI covers like that. There's no terrible art. There's no Liefeld that I saw this week either. But we still got these Rose Besh chibi head things. And again, they're just not for me. I get it. If you like it, you're collecting them, go for it. Have a blast. Have fun. It's just not for me. That's all. I don't know. I prefer like the Scotty Young baby covers. And even those are hit and miss. That said, we got one for the Flash, number 1. We got one for Harley Quinn's book this week, as well as, and that's issue 32, as well as Wildcats this week, because, well, why not give us a Wildcats? So now we got a bobblehead zealot. So issue 11 of Wildcats also has one of these Rose Besh artist spotlights, variant cover by Rose Besh. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, if you're collecting them, here's 3 more they're getting you for. Me, I'm glad I sat these out because, again, it's not for me. Now, if you miss stuff, here's your opportunity to pick up some books once again, and that is our later print section. So we're going to start off with the facsimiles. These are old books where if you can't afford the originals, here's your option to get this book at what I still think is an inflated price, but still better than trying to buy the original. Flash 105. There you go. You want the facsimile of Flash at that first Mirror Master? Have at it. I don't know why you'd really have that hard a time finding a Micronauts 1, because there's plenty of them out there, and you can probably find them still in dollar boxes if you dig hard enough. But Micronauts 1, yeah, if you want it, there you go. You can get yourself a Micronauts cover, as well as, hey, maybe you want to get a blank sketch cover. You got that option as well. You want to get that sketch cover, go to get some artist to do a pretty cool Micronauts cover. I mean, that's not actually a bad idea. I think that'll be kind of unique. You could do something fun there. But outside of that, if you even want to pay a little bit more, well, guess what else you can get? You got it. Foil. Shiny foil. So yeah, go ahead, pay the extra couple of bucks and get yourself a shiny foil Micronauts 1 facsimile. If you miss World Tree, I don't know how you could be missing it by now. Like, we're up to a fifth printing. Yep, fifth printing on World Tree 1. So if you didn't get the first print, second, third, or fourth, well, here's your fifth bite at the apple. Get yourself number 1, fifth printing. You missed the other issues? Guess what? They got you covered, because you can also get your fourth print for number 2. You can get your third print for number 3, and you can get, a second print for number 4. And I think number 5 is still just regular, still recent release. So they'll probably second print of number 5 very, very soon for you, if you still couldn't get a hold of a regular one, which only came out a week or 2 ago. But there you go. Have at it. Lots of World Tree later printings. But as I said, Image, I think, has been doing it right. If they sell out, they print a new printing. They're not overprinting at the start and stashing them and storing them. They just sell what they made, sell to the orders, and then, hey, they need to do another printing, fire it up, we'll do it again. I got no problems with that. That's the point of the later printings to me. But some other places, as we're about to see, or maybe not just yet, don't think that way. Now, before we get to what I'm referring to, let's hit up Plot Holes. Plot Holes also just came out recently, and there is a second print, but they are doing the Marvel style of things, and they are giving us an incentive second print. I get it. The perceived rarity of these incentive second prints, whatever. I don't like manufactured rarity personally. It's just not my thing. Like, it's just not my thing to manufacture rarity or try to talk up a book just because, well, how many could have been ordered because it's a second print? Well, they didn't need to make a second printing. Most of these books, they didn't need a second print. Nobody was demanding it. That said, there is a black and white. I think it's a 1 in 10. I haven't been able to completely confirm the incentive ratio on it. It could be a 1 in 5, but it is an incentive. It is listed as an incentive second print, and it's a black and white. I'm just guessing by the price, because I think Midtown had this at like $7 or $8. That it's probably about a 1 in 10, because that's kind of where they price it at. That said, second print for Plot Holes, black and white cover. It is an incentive. Not selling. I didn't actually see any of these out there on the market, so who knows what's going to happen with this one. It's worth keeping an eye on, because, I mean, it's not the most popular publisher in the world. It's a newer publisher, and we'll see what goes. See what happens. But speaking of Marvel, yep, they're doing it to us again. Dark X-Men number 1, because I don't know why we need a second print. The only thing I can come up with is because they wanted to sell you a 1 in 25 second print of the Hughes cover. So yes, it is just a black and white version of the trade dress version of the Hughes cover. So this is the third version of this cover. If you include the Virgin incentive they did the first time, they're reusing this art to try to sell it to you again. And they're being successful at it because people keep buying it. I don't get it, but $100. $100. Somebody bought that today for this 1 in 25 incentive. Pre-sale, obviously. September 1st, best offer on $80, and then you go back into August, $56. Pre-sale. Fine, I guess. I get it. There's actually none listed right now for this book, so yeah, it could be tough to find. It could, but just because something's tough to find doesn't mean it has to be expensive. It's all about supply and demand, and I guess if you guys keep demanding it, then the price will go up. I just don't understand why so many people are demanding these incentive second prints. Personal thing. Once again, personal. But that's where the market is, so that's why I report it. And with that said, there's another one. That's right. Another one from Marvel. Death of the Venomverse 2. Yes, they needed to give us a second print of this Kid Venom cover. So there you go. Not only did they reuse the art there just to recolor it, they once again are giving us an incentive that I don't think anybody wants. Anybody asking for this? Yeah, it's Venom 2099. Okay, I get it. Great. It's one of the many, many other homages for Venom. I gave up carrying on these ages ago. But folks are buying them, so that's why it's here. Still want to keep an eye on it because, again, I got to watch the whole market, not just the stuff that I like. I got to watch it all. So with that said, you can see it's just a Virgin version of that other homage that they did already on the regular variant for issue 2. I think we are wrapping it up with issue 5. We'll get to that later. Issue 2 here with the second print, however, couple of sales. Best offer on $1.90, and then best offer on $70 and $56. All of those are from a while ago. couple of weeks ago. Nothing very, very recent on this, and there is only one listed right now, and it's asking a healthy 110 for this 1 in 25. So that's the only one I can find listed right now, and it's out of the UK. We'll see if it sells, but even if it does, that's it. I mean, one copy, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. This week, I couldn't believe how big the interlocking cover lover section was, but there are a lot of these this week. It by far dwarfs anything we have on the homage section for this week. Maybe matches last week's homage section because I think there was a bunch there. But here we go. We're gonna get right into it. A lot of connecting covers here coming out this week, or wrapping up, or continuing, I should say. All the whole across the whole gamut. Here we go. Cover price. Action Comics 1057, along with I think it's Detective. We have this Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong thing going on here. So these two will go together and form this nice little image there. What is that? Tech 1074. So boom, you get the both of them. You got a nice little connecting cover set there with Kaiju and our DC Trinity down below with, well, I guess more the Justice League too, but Trinity are kind of front and center, and then some of the other heroes there as well. In addition, we are getting the second piece to that wedding cover that we saw. So Invincible Iron Man, I think this is issue 10, coming out with Tony Stark getting married to Emma Frost. We got that Emma Frost cover a few weeks ago on X-Men, what is that, 26? Yeah. So there you go. Two go together. I know the picture didn't match up perfectly. She's not that much taller than him. It's just that's how the image that I had lined up. So I didn't spend a lot of time tweaking it. But with that said, I think this is it. I think this is it for the Alex Ross big mural set. I think we've got them all. But Avengers 5, we got another cover here that just sneaks in here on the end, and I think completes that big mural of all of the Avengers there. Pretty cool looking all together, but Avengers 5, I think, is our last one here for this set. So we already finished off the Alex Ross homage to Jim Lee's X-Men 1. Now we have Alex Ross's huge Avengers mural team lineup set also wrapping up this week as well. I don't know if this is the last droids. We might have one more, but I think this could be the last one. But we'll see. Another droids connecting cover for the Dark Droid storyline here. Again, it fits in with this long list of things. I think that's it, because I think we've gotten all these other issues out of the way from Dark Droids 2, Star Wars 38, D Squad, Vader, Bounty Hunters, now Afra. I think this is it. So there you go. Hopefully we got them all. There's your larger image that you would go and connect them all to form all 6 issues. Next up, we get the second half of the Saturday morning cartoons, 2-piece set connecting cover thing here for the Death of Venomverse with number 5, the final issue. I told you it was coming later. Here it is. Earlier on issue, what was it? Was it issue 4? Let me see the number when it comes up here. Yep, it was issue 4. We got the first half of it. Now with issue 5, wrapping up the storyline, we get the second half of this Saturday morning connecting cover set. I know it doesn't look like it connects, but it does. It is a halfy face of Eddie Brock and Venom. I didn't force this. This actually lines up. So these two go together, as do the final pieces for Death of Venomverse number 5 with the Delatos. You got the 1 in 10 with the trade dress, and then you got the 1 in 50 virgins as well. And as I've been showing you over the last few weeks, they all go together, even though they didn't go in order. But 1, and we got 2 and 3, and yeah, then we got 4 and 5 just finishing off now. So now we finally have the whole cover set. If you got them all, there are your Delatos making your huge Death of Venomverse mural with all these Venomized symbiote characters. Whether you have the trade dress versions or the virgin versions. Trade dress would have been a lot cheaper. Just saying. And we haven't been talking about this one, but I have been watching it because I've been waiting for this one to end. And it's weird that it ended like this, but the final wraparound issue gives you all of it. So in theory, the connecting cover set already ended for Invincible Iron Man, but here on Invincible Iron Man number 10, they show you all those suits. If you've been watching over these first 10 issues, not every issue had them. There's only been 8 of the 10. So I forget what issue they skipped, but they've been giving you all of these Iron Man suits, all the Mark 1s, Mark 2s, et cetera, down the line. All these Iron Man suits and gear have been variant covers on the Invincible Iron Man series. They've all been going together to form this wraparound image. Don't believe me? Well, here they come. All together. Let's go. One, two, three, four, five, six. I think they skipped no 7 and 8. They skipped issue 9, so that's what they did. The first 8 issues all form this huge, mural type image, and then they skip number 9, and then number 10 gives us that wraparound, uh, full view. So just get issue 10 if you want all of them, or go back and collect all these if you want these all the different suits for Iron Man. Thought it was kind of fun. Figured I'd show it to you now since they just gave you the full image anyway. All right. Almost done here for this week. We got some covers to talk about. I think I still got some incentives and some cheesecake stuff for you, but let's get into covers. There's only a couple that I haven't touched on yet, and we'll touch on in other segments. But on their own, I think this might be the last of the Hispanic Heritage Month variants. These Villa Lobos covers have been awesome. I like this question. Pretty good on Detective Comics. Again, he was killing it on these. I pretty much like them all. So I do have a short. I think you might have seen the short go earlier today. I think I scheduled it for earlier today for all these covers. So you can go check those all out on one of the shorts. Do the cover runs on Rennavision. Apart from this, I do like, this issue of Batman. This is Batman Brave and the Bold number 5. Pretty cool cover there. Nice, iconic. You got the gargoyle, got the gothic kind of vibes with the church, almost feels like, with the stained glass window, the decorative, filigree behind him. Pretty cool image. This series has caught my attention again. Firepower. I dropped it after the first few, and then I heard I should have been getting this the whole time. Sounds like a story that I could be into, and this kind of stuff. I mean, that last issue with the David Aja with the tree and the blossoms, awesome cover. This here looks like the old school, like kung fu stuff, like all those old Jade Man books that I've talked about on my Dollar Bin Digging show. If you haven't caught any of those, but I'm talking about these old school kung fu type stuff. Those Jade Man books. Always get those in Dollar Bin. Anytime I find them, I grab them. It's just cool stuff. Anyway, this cover reminded me of that. So thought it was kind of cool. Yes. All of this Venomverse stuff, I've been running it down because of all these variants and second prints and connecting covers and then second print incentives. But there's still been a couple of cool covers that they've given us on this. And Bjorn Barons has just been killing it lately. And this is a creepy looking Null. Like, this is a badass looking Null. It looks a little video game-ish because that's kind of his style. It's a little photorealistic in a kind of a way, but it still has a lot of character to it. I don't know. I like it. So I put it here. Probably not going to get it, but I thought it was kind of cool. Just like I think the design cover for a Venomized Jeff. So Venom vs. Jeff. It's also kind of fun. It's just a fun look. It's a fun image. People like Jeff, and you might as well get the Venomized version of him too, right? Again, it's probably not something I'm going to buy because that's another $5. I don't know if I'm going to throw it out there just because I think it's kind of a fun idea, but I thought it was fun enough to at least show you guys and say that I am looking at it. Who knows? That's going to be like one of those 50-50 things. You go into a shop and you go, well, do I want it? Do I not need it? And then you just decide last minute. Gut thing. So those are just a couple covers. Again, I thought they were worth noticing. And we got some incentives too. I like incentives. I still like incentive variants. I'm trying to limit how many I put on the Hot 10 because not everybody likes them. And it's also not apples to apples. Like some of these, they're just not going to sell as many. And it's kind of tough to bump other books out as they sell dozens of copies for something that's sold like 4. But with that all said, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how I come up with the Hot 10 list. If you want to know, you can always ask me. I give you all the details in my picks, so you know it anyway. But with that all said, 1 at 25, Avengers number 5. I like the Scarlet Witch. It's not selling for anything. It's well below ratio. I think I saw copies for like $15 and under. Maybe not under, about $15 up to ratio like 25. But if you want it, you can go and find it. Same thing here with the Mando book. Funnily enough, I think Midtown had this 1 at 25 listed at $40 and it was not sold out. Why was it not sold out? Because a lot of places online have this Mando 1 at 25 for issue, I think it's issue 5. Or is it 4? Anyway, this Ryan Brown cover, it's listed for, again, under ratio on like eBay and whatnot. So that's why Midtown didn't sell out of it, because you can get it for cheaper if you really want it. But I don't know. It's up to you. It's still kind of a cool cover, but I don't need to go and buy these. I don't really like the adaptation of the TV show. I already saw the show. I don't need you to now sell me poorly drawn versions of it in comic book form, because the guts of these books, I'm sorry, it's just not great. I'm not going to shine you on and tell you that it's the best thing. Like, oh, first appearances of all these characters in comics. To me, I could care less. It's not that big a deal to me. But hey, you hobby how you want to hobby. It's your wallet after all. That said, I am intrigued by all of these Sonic books. I don't know why. I just kind of like Sonic. It's just one of those weird little things. So we do have a 30th anniversary here of Amy, the pink character there. I don't know if she's going to show up in the next movie. I got a feeling that she might. I mean, they've already added and expanded. We know we're going to get Shadow, so the chances of us seeing an Amy, I think, are pretty good. Personally, you already added Tails. We got Knuckles. I think they expand the Sonic universe a little bit more. So she's probably a good bet, a safe bet to be showing up. I've talked about that before, but here is her 30th anniversary in a one shot, and this is a retailer incentive 1 in 10 for that anniversary issue. How many places are ordering it? There'll be a few, but not many, which is why you can already see pre-sales, 15 bucks, yeah, 30 bucks a couple of times as well. Granted, most of those pre-sales are pretty old. That's July to August. I don't know if this got pushed back that long or why these were listed for so long, but those pre-sales are from a long, long time ago. That said, not a lot of copies listed right now, and they are also not cheap. So the copies that are available right now, 30 bucks and 50 bucks for 1 in 10 are pretty steep. So go check your shop. It could be worth your time and worth your effort to do so. That said, I like this next cover too. Never really collected a lot of the Usagi Yojimbo books. I get the few and even some of these incentives that I really like the covers. And this is one I might consider if I can find one at a decent price. Because this 1 in 25 for this new series, Ice and Snow, part 1 of 5, I dig this. I like this art. I like the classic look of the Japanese art. It's got a negative space thing going too there with the D in in the back sun, the night sky. I think it's pretty cool. Only found one pre-sale on this so far, and it was for $56. Granted, that was also way back. What is that? Is that July? That was all the way back in July. Again, I don't know why IDW pre-sold these so early, but yeah. So that's the only one I found that's sold. But that's kind of where the asks are right now too. 56. That looks like the same seller, and then $75. So definitely, 56 to 75 bucks ain't cheap for this 1 in 25. So again, something worth keeping an eye on as we roll into New Comic Book Wednesday. This is what I'm talking about. Not to say this is going to be a hot book. We've only got one pre-sale, but we only got like 2 copies available. Again, that's a duplicate. You can see the sponsored. I hate it when they have that. The sponsored listings, they'll show up twice, but it's the same listing. So only like 2 listed. So we'll see. See what actually is in your shop. Don't always go online shopping. See what's in your store. Support your local comic shop. With that said, I don't know if a lot of your local comic shops are going to have 50 copies to get this 1 in 50, but here we go. The Ride to Hollywood special, this boom book. I just like the cover. I think it's Veronica Fish. It looks like a postcard almost. I just thought it was kind of cool. So yeah, I don't know. That's why I put it in here. There's no pre-sales to speak of, and there was only 1 copy listed, and they did want 85 bucks. But this Dark Spaces, oh, that's what it is. It's under that Dark Spaces title that they have running right now. So this Hollywood special, again, 1 in 50, just a cool looking cover. And like I said, 1 listed, and it's got a decent asking price. So let's see what happens when new release day Wednesday hits. Much like our next book. Alice Never After has had some cool books. I like the hues that we had, and here we are with issue 3. We've got a Bill Sienkiewicz cover, which you can get. You can get the trade dress version, which I do like here. I actually like the trade dress best because it fills that empty space at the top of the cover here. You can get this for cover price, or if you want to get the 1 in 25 incentive, it's not that bad. It's not a ton of empty space at the top, but again, I'm fine with the trade dress personally. And instead of having to pay the 1 in 25 premium, you're going to have to pay for a 1 in 25 incentive book. But this will be out there, and it'll be out there for you to keep an eye on as we have no pre-sales as of yet, but a couple of listings looking for right around ratio. Look, 30 bucks out of Canada and then 50 bucks out of the UK. Those are the only 2 I found listed so far. We're a couple of days early. We'll see what happens as Wednesday hits. Something to keep an eye on. See if your shop has this Bill Sienkiewicz. If you're a Bill Sienkiewicz fan, this is a pretty cool cover. I mean, it's kind of monotone a bit, but he's done this a lot lately. Again, if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, well, then you don't have to get it. That said, that's my last incentive for you as we're going to wrap this thing up with our final segment, our cheesecake covers. Yeah, I still like doing these. I know the boys on Friday have been doing this kind of stuff too, but hey, I can admit it. I like these covers. I have since the 90s, so I like them still. Starting off with Green Arrow, number 4. I think it's a Derek Chew. Pretty cool canary cover there. Kind of, jumps right out at you. The next Harley book really isn't a cheesecake cover, but I put it in this segment because it just still kind of fit the vibe. So we put the Harley with the bubble gum. Jenny Frizen, again, awesome. Love the pink here. Got this coming as well. Got a pre-order of this one as well. I just like it. I like the art, like the image, think it's cool. Again, I know I've been running down Rose Besh with those chibi bubblehead things, but I still like some of the art. And this Donna Troy, pretty cool. It's got a very anime kind of manga feel to it, and I do like that style. I'm a big Joe Mad fan. I like that style in general. It's just when you get towards the Kitty Goofy with the big bubble heads, I lose it a little bit. It's just not for everything. Like if that's the storyline, okay, I can buy into it. That's the story, but you don't need to give me, Wonder Woman with a big bubble head. That doesn't do anything for me. But this cover, pretty cool. I like it. Speaking of cheesecake, well, I guess one of the queens of it here, we have Elvira. And here we got, is this a Royce cover? Doing his best, or Royal. Is it Royal or Royce? I think this might be a Royce. Both of them kind of do their own J. Scott Campbell impersonation. Their kind of vibe and their kind of style is very similar. But here we got an Elvira, which, again, you can kind of see a little Campbell-esque vibe to it. But here we go. We got Elvira. Multiple covers on this. It's a Dynamite book after all, but this is the only one I'm going to show for this title. And the next title, again, multiple covers. I'm just going to give you two. Vampirilla Rage. We got a Selena in the middle. We got a Perillo over on the, I guess, the right for you there. I like it. I like them both. It's just Dynamite, though. So many covers. And there's multiple versions of both of these covers for you. There's like Ultraviolet, Black and White, Trade Dress versions. Too many. Dynamite, too many covers. What else do we got? We have an offshoot title. Here we've got Valkyrie Sailors. Is this Kia Storms #1 is Antarctic. I know Antarctic, they've got their Punchline book and a couple of those other titles like that. But yeah, here we go. This is kind of it. Here's your cheesecake for you. So right there. But it does catch your eye, right? It makes you stop for a minute. This is the regular cover. And then there is, I don't want to say it's an incentive, but it has a $10 cover price. So there's a B cover, but it is much more expensive for one reason or another. I know Antarctic does do that. It's not so much their incentive, but they do have like a higher priced book, which I think they do print less of. But the cover price is I think, $10 on this one. And it's still a pretty cool cover on the Valkyrie thing. If you're into it, there you go. Marvel side of things, only one that really jumped out at me was the Jean Grey. This Icajur. I don't know how to say that properly, but yeah, pretty cool. I won't be surprised to see this one again in some form of second print incentive somewhere down the line. But for now, go get yourself your trade dress for cover price. It's not too bad if you're into it. And lastly, we have an incentive book here, 1 in 75. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue 112. Yes, 1 in 75 incentive. It's pretty cool, Pink Ranger. It's pretty cool, Pink Ranger. That's all I'm saying. And I did see one pre-sale of this thing so far, and it was for $168. Granted, that is also from back in July, but still, it's the only sale I saw. And right now, I didn't see any listed. So this could be a toughie, and it's one that I think people might be interested in. So keep an eye out for it. I think it kind of catches the eye. Pink Ranger, helmet off, sunset in the back. Like I said, cheesecake. And with that all said, that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking this out. Come back tomorrow. I will have the Chasing Ghosts for you. I got a whole Art Adams special. It's a little bit longer than normal because it's been a while since I've done Chasing Ghosts. I know I've been kind of slipped doing my hidden gems and Chasing Ghosts, even dollar bin digging the last couple of weeks as I've been trying to nail down working the CBSI Hot 10 into my schedule. But I think I got it down now. I think I got a good rhythm. So I think we got ourselves all set. So we're trying to get back on our regularly scheduled programming. So thanks for bearing with me, and thanks for coming along this ride. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to get even more fun as we move forward. So with that all said, thanks again for all the support, and I will see you guys all later with some more content. All right.